Silence is louder than screams. For Dr. Wambui, the quiet that followed Chris's disappearance was not peaceful. It was violent. It pressed against her chest when she woke up. It followed her into the shower. It waited for her at night, sitting at the edge of her bed like an accusation. For weeks, she lived between hope and dread. Every morning, she reached for her phone before her feet touched the floor. Every vibration made her heart jump. Every notification that wasn't his felt like another small loss. At first, she told herself reasonable lies. Maybe his phone was lost. Maybe the trade was complicated. Maybe he was busy securing their future. After all, Chris had never rushed her. He had been patient. Gentle. Consistent. That was the most painful part. The apartment overlooking the Indian Ocean, once a symbol of everything she had achieved, now felt hollow. The waves outside kept moving, indifferent, while her world stood still. At work, Dr. Wambui became a version of herself running on memory. She smiled when required. She spoke gently to parents. She checked vitals with precision. No one could tell that behind her calm professionalism was a woman replaying every message she had ever sent. She began questioning herself in quiet, cruel ways. How could I fall for this? How could I save children and fail to save myself? The shame was suffocating. Not because she had lost money, but because she had trusted. The first person she finally told was Dr. Otieno. Otieno was senior to her at the hospital, a respected pediatric surgeon known for his calm presence during emergencies. They had shared many night shifts, long corridors, quiet coffees, but never personal vulnerability. When she finally spoke, the words came in fragments. Crypto. Love. Money gone. She expected disappointment. Or lectures. Or silence. Instead, Otieno listened. When she finished, he leaned back and said quietly, Wambui, manipulation doesn't target intelligence. It targets trust. And trust is human. Those words broke something open inside her. Soon after, Dr. Aisha Hossan found out. One evening, she knocked on Wambui's door with takeaway food. I'm not here to ask questions, Aisha said. I'm here to sit. They ate quietly. They talked about nothing. They talked about everything. Aisha reminded her gently. You didn't lose your value. You lost money to a professional liar. At the nurse's station, Nurse Nyambura noticed Wambui's silence. One morning, she slipped a folded note into her bag. You are still our doctor. Please don't disappear. That note stayed with her for months. Despite the support, the nights remained unbearable. Eventually, Wambui left Mombasa to seek clarity. She went inland to Kisumu, to the home of her aunt, Mama Akinyi. Mama Akinyi didn't interrogate. She cooked. She prayed. She listened. In the evenings, she would say softly, money can be rebuilt. But shame grows when you hide. Living there was her cousin, Brian Mwangi, a software technician. When Wambui showed him the messages and trading platforms, Brian immediately saw through the illusion. This is not one man, he said. This is a syndicate. Brian explained how romance scamming networks operate: international, structured, layered, and highly organized. These syndicates function like corporations, with recruiters, impersonators, financial mules, emotional manipulators, and laundering networks. And then he said something that shifted everything. This has nothing to do with nationality, or race, or gender. Women are deeply involved too. This is global organized crime. Chris, she realized, had only been a mask. Brian encouraged her to do something radical. Tell your story. At first, she resisted. The shame felt unbearable. But Brian helped her understand. Silence protects criminals. Stories dismantle them. So one evening, trembling, Dr. Wambui went live on Facebook. No filters. No script. No armor. She told her story. And something extraordinary happened. The comments exploded. Messages poured in from women across Kenya, doctors, lawyers, bankers, lecturers, entrepreneurs. I thought I was the only one. I lost millions. I almost took my life. Within hours, Wambui realized this was bigger than her pain. That night, the Shield was born. A movement. A safe space. A digital refuge. Brian helped her create a Facebook page, and within days, thousands joined. Professional women. Accomplished women. Educated women. All carrying the same secret shame. Through the Shield, patterns emerged. This was not Nigerian men. Not Kenyan men. Not South African men. And not men alone. Women were recruiters. Women were impersonators. Women were emotional bait. This was not about race. Not about country. This was high treason organized cybercrime. A global syndicate exploiting loneliness, trust, and human hope. The movement caught national attention. Soon, Kenyan News Network, the largest broadcasting network in the country, reached out. The journalist assigned was Mary Jane Samuels. During the interview, Wambui sat under studio lights, heart pounding, but voice steady. She spoke for millions. She spoke for silence. She spoke for every woman who had swallowed her pain. And Kenya listened. But one wound still remained. Malindi. The place Chris had promised. The future he had painted. Wambui knew she had to go. So she returned to the coast, this time with Brian. They walked barefoot along the shoreline where turquoise waters kissed white sand. Standing at the edge of the Indian Ocean, memories crashed over her. The dreams. The lies. The stolen future. And then, she wailed. A raw, unfiltered cry. Years of restraint dissolved into the waves. Brian stood beside her quietly. Then he said, "Throw it." She looked at the phone, the one she had used to speak to Chris. And she let it go. It disappeared beneath the water. In that moment, something shifted. The shame dissolved. The anger loosened. The weight lifted. As she walked back toward the shore, she felt lighter. Free. She returned home changed. Not hardened. Not bitter. But grounded. She no longer hated love. She no longer feared relationships. She no longer distrusted connection. She simply understood it better. Dr. Wambui lost money. But she gained truth. Community. Purpose. Her pain became a shield for others. And today, because she spoke, thousands are safer. If this story touched you, like, share, subscribe. Because awareness saves lives. This is African Conceptz storytelling, where we tell compelling African narratives. Until the next story, protect your heart, protect your community, and never suffer in silence.